Hey y'all, welcome back to A Dash of Gratitude. My name is Beth, and this is part 2 of my container garden series for 2023. I will link part 1 down below so you can be sure to check that out if you've missed it. I'm starting out by just cleaning out 2 of the containers that I'm adding into the mix and adding some fresh soil to top off some of the other containers that needed just a little bit more soil. I have some of these okra seeds, and I kind of told myself after last year's garden season that this year I was gonna maybe do a few tomatoes, definitely some okra, and some peppers. So that's really all I've got planned so far this year. So this says it's gonna take 12 to 14 days to germinate. I'm gonna plant it. I'm gonna plant each seed 3/4 of an inch deep. That's not very deep at all. And I'm just gonna put one in each bucket. And you know, 56 to 64 days to harvest, so it'll be a while, but I cannot wait till they start popping up and growing.
Hi guys.
There's Robbie. I'm going to go ahead and lift the buckets with these bricks just so they'll be elevated up off of the concrete. I did the same thing last year. It worked pretty well. I'm not lifting all of the containers up onto bricks just yet. I'm going to see how much of a difference it makes for draining. So I'm just going to do the okra containers in the back today. Alright, so I've decided to do a little bit of rearranging. I've asked Brandon to come help me do some rearranging, so I'll update you when we get that done. One great benefit to using containers like this to garden in is that you can easily rearrange anytime you want. I mean, really. And so my plan here is to space out the tomatoes just a little bit. I don't want them to be able to touch each other too much. Just in case there's a disease, I just don't want it to spread easily between. So here I am just I'm potting up the tomatoes and the basil. Also, you may notice that I'm not staking the tomatoes just yet. I want to wait till they get a little bit bigger before I add any tomato cages or support for the plants. I wish you could smell this. For real. Basil smells so good. It's one of my favorite summer garden smells. I always like to plant basil right in with the tomatoes. They make an excellent companion plant. This year I added Tums into the soil of the tomatoes. It's supposed to help prevent blossom end rot. All right, here is an overview of what we have so far in the garden. And I'll start over here. We've got a San Marzano tomato. And the same thing back here along with a basil. Got our little strawberry patch and a dinosaur, Stegosaurus, if you will. And in the strawberries, there are a few little blooms hidden around in here. And we've had a couple of berries. So, you know, a little baby strawberry patch. Here we have the chocolate cherry tomato along with basil, and same thing here, a little chocolate cherry with a basil. And then this little planter box is I only have jalapenos in here, and I think I did put some nasturtium. I believe I planted it around the edge and in the back, maybe down this side edge as well. And then I think there might be a couple that just kind of made it into the middle. We'll have to see what happens with that. And then here is another San Marzano, along with a basil, San Marzano, and no basil. And then back here on these 3 buckets, those are where I put okra seeds back there, so they should be popping up and doing well. I put them in the back because they do grow very tall, so they'll do well to not, I don't want them to cause shade on the tomatoes. And anyway, here's my garden. Up here in the front, I do have a mum. I believe they're orange, like a nice burnt orange mum. And over here is a mum as well. And then right here, I believe these are black-eyed Susans, and I want to repot them to see if they'll do a little bit better this year. But anyway, here's my container garden in my 5-gallon food grade buckets. And then I'll show you, let me show you where I moved the blueberries. Look at that. I love a pinwheel in the garden. With Brandon's help, he moved these 2 blueberry bushes back here. They probably won't get quite as much sun as they would on the driveway, but I eventually want to move my garden space back here. So anyway, we're just going to try this out. We'll move them back if we need to. And then I repotted my blackberry bush into this larger planter. So I would like to get a few more blueberries and probably keep them in containers still, and maybe put them back here. I want to get a few more varieties. And then I added some nice compost on top, around this elderberry bush. I cannot wait to see the progress as summer comes on. I'm really excited about this gardening season. We got a nice little breeze, making the pinwheels go. Anyway, this out here is a hosta bed. There used to be a tree planted pretty much right where that pot is right there, and it died. We had to have it taken down this winter. Eventually I'd like to get more fruit out here. So anyway, that's what we did today. It was a lovely day in the garden.
So it's been 11 days and I already have okra popping up back there in their little buckets. They're doing so well and looking great. The rest of the garden is looking nice as well. And I also picked up 3 more buckets. So I've got to figure out what I'm going to put in them. It's so exciting. Anyway, everything's looking great. I love this garden so far. Now we are on my front porch, and I just wanted to share with you this container garden as well. I mainly keep herbs and a couple of lettuces up here, and I picked up this garden box from Sam's Club last year, and I believe I've seen something similar this year, as well as at Costco, and I think Amazon has this too, so I will link it below if I can find it. But I just wanted to share with you, back here I have green onions, these green onions are from a recipe that I needed them for, and I used what I needed, and then the rest of them I just stuck them into the dirt, and they will continue to grow. You can cut and harvest them over and over. They'll last such a long time. This here is a little clump of chives, and I've never grown those before, and they've already grown so much since I planted them. They're doing really well. And then I have some romaine lettuce up here in the front, which I need to harvest some of, and I have a curly kale as well as a purple kale. And then I've got this sage. I don't remember what kind of sage it is, but I bought it mainly for the color. I love the purple stems, and the green leaves are just so pretty. So, I just like the way that looks up here in the garden. Over here I have curled parsley, and I've used some. I need to harvest some of that too. And then back here in the back I have more basil, and then here's a different variety. It's a purple basil. So I just want to encourage you that if you don't have space for a garden, container gardening is so great. You can plant so many things in a container garden. So anyway, that's my hope in sharing all of this container garden information, is that it will help you in your container garden journey as well. And if you have any tips and tricks for me, I'm always open to hearing and learning. Like I've said before, I don't have all the answers, and I'm always interested in learning more. So right down off the front porch is one more little pot that I'm growing some herbs in, and in here I have a rosemary as well as an Italian oregano, and I like to keep these particular herbs potted. I don't like to put them right in the ground because the oregano spreads, and I just like to keep it contained. And I personally don't love when rosemary gets huge and unruly. I like to keep it in a pot, keep it a little more under control. Thank you so much for adding a dash of gratitude to your day. I really, really appreciate you being here, and I hope to see you on the next video.